Hey there, I'm back with another video. It's 10:37 a.m. It is May 3rd and it is Friday morning. I hope everyone's having a wonderful getting ready to jump into the weekend day. Everybody loves Friday, especially when it's like time to go home. It's like you just want to get back to your own self and your own space. And I get it. I get it. So I want to come on here and make this video because I've been doing some thinking. I made a video a few days ago, kind of addressing particular persons specifically about, the little problems that I've been experiencing. And, it's been really rough, and I did address the issues of workplace mobbing and the need for protection when it comes to gang stalking and human trafficking, which, I will say, living as a targeted individual for these years has been extremely stressful, extremely depressive. And like I said, as I went along this whole journey, and each and everything that got revealed to me became more and more disturbing as I went along. Okay. I really opened my eyes, to a lot of things that, I just never really paid attention to, or really gave that deep of thought to. So it's, it kind of blew me away. But, today I had to get up and go to the store, and I had to pick up a few items. And, of course, everyone knows that I've been walking. As a matter of fact, I was targeted for walking, but at the time I was walking just to get out of the house. Now I'm walking is my main mode of transportation, mainly because, like I mentioned a few days ago, because of me being in this issue that was beyond my control, my car got repossessed, okay? But mind you, I wasn't driving my car anyway for the last few months, really, because I know I was experiencing some problems with driving, mainly nervous issues, having problems driving, being able to concentrate and focus, having anxiety attacks behind the wheel and stuff like that. So I have been basically walking for quite a long time anyway. This morning I had to get up early because it is starting to get hot outside. Okay, starting to get hot outside, so I needed to make sure I got there early enough to where, I was beating the heat of the sun, okay? Mind you, I don't mind walking. Why? Because walking gives you time to clear your head. It gives you time to because there's so many things about this issue that runs through my mind. Mainly the betrayal, coming to find out that, my life was like some big switcheroo. People were in on it. Just all this sort of stuff. It's very, very, very painful. Very painful. Because what this issue has done, it was brought out certain things in people that you never see, but you can't deny. You know what I mean? This is where the betrayal comes in. You know what I mean? And when you become betrayed and you feel as though your life is some sort of set up Truman Show, and then you see these people who are taking advantage of your suffering and basically exploiting you, this becomes extremely disturbing to you. And so this is one of the reasons why it was very important for me to basically shut my borders off, because what was going on was, like I said, basically, I put it plain and simple, this was a form of genocide. Okay. I had mentioned that I was dealing with a lot of workplace mobbings. Specifically, I've always dealt with workplace mobbings, right? But I would say it picked up during my time over at Murray Family Farms, and there was a lot of bullying that went on. I can honestly say that what went on at Murray Family Farms, I did not initiate. Okay, this was shit that's been following me around and just got to the point of where it escalated to where it started becoming almost, what was meant to be a covert operation started becoming very overt, because these people's actions were becoming just absolutely, outright fucking evil, pathological, and sick and twisted. Okay, now this was all initiated, at least I would not say it was mainly initiated. I know that it has its roots and its foundations, but when it was orchestrated by the owner of the company, Now this is where it gets, this is where it becomes like, oh my God. Like I said, my violation of my rights have been just like, I'm just shocked at, what I've experienced, what I've seen, and the injustices and the people that were involved in it is just like shocking to me. So yeah, it disturbs me. I always considered myself to be a very good citizen. You know what I mean? A citizen that that abide by the law. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong. When I was younger, of course, I had my moments of, you know what I mean, what you call rebellion. Like, for example, I was talking about the curfew. Okay, I knew there were times that I was out after curfew. Okay, mind you, I was breaking the law. But you know what? I was aware that there was a law that the minors had to be in a certain time. Okay. And the thing is that so that made me accountable for my actions. When you know something becomes or it is wrong, then this is when you become accountable for your actions. Okay. Sometimes people do things out of ignorance. Okay. And when they do things out of ignorance, okay, they simply didn't know. Okay. Mind you, in this situation, that to me was clearly pathological. Okay. And like I said, to me, from a spiritual standpoint, I'm going to say demonic. Seriously demonic. And you know why? Because it was that energy that followed. Like I said, there was this movie, I forgot the name of it, with Denzel Washington. I cannot think of it, the name of it. Okay, but it's basically when one spirit kind of goes from one person to another. This is one of the reasons why it even sometimes even looks like the person. The face is kind of almost morphed into that person because it's a form of evil. Okay, seriously, it's a sick form of evil. Okay, this is one of the reasons why there are certain white people that reminded me of people like my brother, so and so and so forth. How is that possible? Because it's the same sort of spirit that goes through people, and it's very strange. Let me go. Hang on a second. Anyway, as I was going on my rant about the spiritual nature of what made this whole plot, what made this whole operation held it together. Like I said, I know the originators of this experiment, and that would be Joseph Mengele. Okay, anytime something is crooked from the top all the way down, it's going to become corrupt. Okay, even people who are decent. This is one of the reasons why even decent people, they call it, when you're dealing with workplace mobbing, become pathological and sick. Okay, like I said, this is a white man who hated people of color or anyone that was not like him. Okay, but yet we had people like my family, both families, I'm talking adoptive and blood relations, want to stab me in the back, throw me under the bus, exploit me, right? You had these people that I used to know that come from all different racial backgrounds, okay, doing what they could just to fucking, because they wanted to throw in their like sick pathological shit in the mix. Okay, this to me is the most disturbing thing that a person could ever go through. Yet during this time, I still knew that what I was doing was right. I knew it. And I understood what it was because, like I said, I've studied history, okay? And when I really think about it, as C.B. Braganza, I actually lived through I wasn't there like in Nazi Germany, okay? But that stuff was reported here in this country. So, and I myself was experiencing targeting, so I must have had some sort of connection or sympathy or empathy for what these people were going through. Okay, this is one of the reasons why when I was a young kid, I took an interest in this subject matter. I mean, this is how it gets explained. I mean, things are starting to come together for me. Okay, now the reason why this video is called Transformation is because I was a victim of a hate crime. Okay, that's exactly what it is, a hate crime. Okay, this is one of the reasons why when you step outside of the guidelines of the law and disobey these sort of things and try to deviate from them, there's always going to be negative consequences. This is why it is there to prevent these negative consequences. This is one of the reasons why when it comes to people like HR representatives and people who own their own companies, this is what they're missing. This is the important part is what they're missing. You cannot think that you can actually skip or ignore these things without somebody getting hurt. Even if it's the woman, like the woman who's sitting here getting tossed around from men to men, choosing her jobs, wasting her life.
wasting her life and giving her no protection whatsoever. Okay, people play women's lives for sport. This is a very barbaric behavior. Okay, we're supposed to be civilized as human beings in 2024. Okay, and it's not about your religious views. Okay, you have the right to have whatever religious views you want to in this country. And luckily, apparently, from what the videos that I was just making a few weeks ago, I was talking about the idea of religious freedoms also going on over in the UK that should have been understood by each and every citizen to protect their rights. Okay, this is what I find very annoying and scary for someone like me to understand these things among people who don't. Okay, I get abused in this system. Okay, just the way that it's set up. Okay, with people not really truly being educated but bragging as though they are. Okay, looking down on people like me because they want to further some sort of agenda to feel superior in a world that to me is worthless. I don't look at things, I don't understand what the big chase is. Like, why do you feel like you want to be king in the top of something that to me is an evil empire from the ground up? Okay, this is not, to me, I feel as though Earth is a very unhealthy place to be. Okay, and so what my life is about is I'm a person who exists within my spiritual nature. This is what I am. This is how I reflect on life. This is how I see things. This is how I communicate. This is my life. Okay, and I know people get pissed off because they feel as though, oh, I don't like to have fun. Yes, I do like to have fun. Okay. I do recall when I was getting targeted, my heart of my targeting, that people thought that I was too old to go dancing, which to me is absurd. As long as you can live, you can breathe, you can still function, why not get up and dance? You know, people want to put people in boxes, and that's right. That's fine if you're the kind of person who feels as though you reach a certain age and you want to no longer do the things that you used to do. I'm trying to figure out why. What is the point in doing that? Okay, it doesn't make you any more responsible. It doesn't make you any more, you know, to me, that the nuts and bolts of being an adult is understanding your responsibilities to a certain extent. Okay, I have a responsibility to provide for myself. Okay, that is my something that I have to do, and I do not want to intersect my will on anyone else. Okay, that's how I live my life. Okay, my goal is to be straight, focused on the things that I need to do. I don't have time to sit here and compete with so and so, or somebody think it's okay to drag somebody's life in for a certain amount of time so that, whatever. And I understand this was an experiment thing, but at the same time, it's like it could have been orchestrated in a completely different way. Okay. Mind you, I still feel as though I was exploited, especially for reasons that were completely racial from the ground up. Okay. But anyway, transformation. Getting back to transformation, I dealt with a hate crime that was basically fueled by envy. Okay, this was demonstrated to me in the places that I had been in. People talked about my eating habits. People talked about the way that I dressed. But everybody knows in this life, okay, what you are supposed to, the main thing you're supposed to do in this life, the reason why you're here is to improve yourself. Everybody should know that. It's like so simple to understand. To me, it's like, okay, everybody tells you that, every health professional tells you that, every counselor tells you that. They tell you these things. Like we used to talk about hygiene, and appearances. Back in the 1950s, there were actually PSAs that showed people how to groom themselves because these things were important. Okay, now I understand that society has just like completely, I don't know what happened. Okay, but maybe you can call me from the old school. But you know what? Hey, I have the right to be from the old school. Okay, and I also believe that my way of living has brought me an incredible amount of joy. Okay, why? Because I don't want to be wrapped up in it. That doesn't mean that just because I don't go to the voting polls, I'm saying, hey, don't go to the voting polls. Okay, that to me, it's like when people feel like every little thing that I do has to be like challenged. Okay, this was an issue that people brought on me. Like, I never realized that I would even be challenged in the United States of America. This is what blows me away. Okay, maybe I was naive. Maybe I was naive because I forget how and what the clusters are actually comprised of. You know what I mean? They're comprised of people that look like people you never suspect. You know what I mean? So, it's kind of it blows me away. Okay, especially since throughout all these years, before coming to know that I'm Prince Alamehu, I honestly thought, yes, I understood that I had mystical powers, but at the end of the day, I thought that I was just like, everybody else, meaning like, uh, everybody else. Like, I work, I do whatever. I never realized that I was some person that was supposed to be like, everybody's eyes were supposed to be on me. Everybody was supposed to be talking about me, nitpicking me, and everything else. But it does make sense because I dealt with a lot of bullying throughout my life. Okay. So back to transformation. Transformation is coming from, it comes from a deep need of like wanting to change what it is that you are, your state of being. Okay. The reason why people took it out on me is because a lot of people that used to know me, and people that I worked with or whatever got together and they started conspiring against me because they felt threatened by who I was as a person. Okay. This happens a lot, especially among women. Okay, I'm just going to talk about this issue. I understand the fucktard Libra 14 did try to sit here and pull me into his weird shit. I don't know. That's too fucking bad. It's not my fucking problem. I don't know what his trip was and why he did what he did, but he had no right to. I kind of understand how all that happened, but still, he had no right to do that. Okay, but my thing is that when people feel jealousy or envy or hatred towards somebody, it is because there is some sort of imbalance within themselves. It always comes back to themselves. Always. Okay. So when that happens, you don't have to let those negative feelings make you enact a hate crime. You can take those negative feelings and transform them into the betterment of yourself, which is why you're supposed to be here in the first place. That is the only fucking reason why you're here in the first place, to better yourself on a spiritual level. Okay, sure, we have our responsibilities, sure, we have our obligations, and that's why they're called obligations. We have those, okay, and I understand the priority, but the ultimate priority is to yourself. Okay, you can either transform that negative feeling into what you want to build for yourself. Okay, so in the case of these women that hated my guts, okay, and they probably still hate my guts, they're probably rolling their eyes as I'm speaking right now, and guess what, I really don't give a flying fuck. Okay, what I do give a flying fuck about is that you would sit here and conspire with other people to try to put me to death because of your inadequacies. That's not my fucking problem. It is not my fucking problem. Okay, so when it comes to transformation, there's a lot of people who want to be the person that they always wanted to be. Okay, because everybody has that dream, whether it starts off when you're young, sometimes it starts when you're like your teenage years. You start understanding what's your level of comfort, what kind of things that you enjoy in life, what makes you you, and you start to build around that. That's what you're supposed to do. Okay, so if you're looking at somebody and feeling envious towards that person, ask yourself, because obviously I will tell you, before you met me, you probably never thought about competing against anybody. So find out what it is that you want in your life and work towards that. But mind you, you're going to have to deal with obstacles. And these are the sort of things that I talk about on the Swan Song Manifesto. I talk about obstacles, dealing with transforming yourself, making yourself a better person, making yourself more whole, giving importance to your life instead of, projecting negativity. Okay. That, mind you, I didn't deserve and has delayed, my life for years. All because of something that I didn't have any idea about. I wanted to kind of go over some things when it comes to transforming. I am not in any way saying that people need to change their life, okay? But people were basically thinking that I was supposed to cater to their whims and change my life. For what reason? I have rights to live the way that I want to. Just because I choose to live my life does not mean that I'm setting a standard or forcing other people to live their life. But I am confronting the issue since it prevented me from being able to work, since it was the issue that prevented me from having a normal life, since it was the issue that created all this betrayal around me. So I'm standing up for myself and telling the reason why and what the hatred is really all about. And it's because people want to people find it easier to project their hatred instead of managing their own lives. And that's really what the bare bottom line is. So when it comes to transformation, you know, when it comes to women who get jealous of other women, then now is the time to start transforming yourself. And you can start small. You can start with something like I said. The first thing, build yourself from like toe and then all the way up. Go get yourself a pedicure. If you can't afford to get a pedicure, do your own nails. Okay, take care of your feet first. Okay, once you're done with your feet, go on to another part of your body. Okay, and then move yourself up. Find meaning in your life. Okay, I was thinking that there are some people who feel like you don't have to sit here and spend a shitload of money on clothes if clothes is your thing. I'm not saying people have to get into clothes. I'm saying I'm into clothes. It should not be fucking challenged. I cannot even understand why in the world it would be, unless, of course, here somebody was enacting racial supremacy and we dealt with, you know, jealous, squawking bitches who are unhappy with themselves. Okay? But if this is your choice and you want to make, you know, change your wardrobe or something like that, and I understand money sometimes can be an issue. You know, there's a lot of people who are into things like upcycling. You know I've upcycled a few outfits that I went to, like the thrift store, and purchased and then changed them up a little bit to my liking. Okay, you can accessorize with earrings, you know, try different styles, change your hairstyle, whatever. I mean, why can't you enjoy what life has to bring you? You know, very little. Those are these little hidden nuggets, you know what I mean? But don't hate on people because you feel like you're jealous of them. That's all I'm saying, okay? I mean, I think it's a good thing when a woman decides that, you know what, I'm tired of feeling like my life is pointless. And people feel that way sometimes. And so when you feel like your life is pointless, well then give it a reason. Give yourself a reason to exist in the morning, even if it is something small. Even if it is something like a pedicure or something like that. You're chugging along and at least you're getting through the day. You know what I mean? And this is how I look at my life. Okay, I know that, you know, during my targeting, I had to deal with unspeakable, filthy, vile people in my face every fucking goddamn day. Okay, but you know what helped me? You know what helped me? Was my fucking clothes. It was me feeling as though I had some sort of form of navigation. You know what I mean? On those days where I could wear black, on those days where I could like sit here and put a little bit of eyeliner over my eye and deal with that evil eye issue. You know, the day that where I can wear my amulet if I needed to. You know what I mean? Those little things. Okay? It's like take control of what you have because it's important. Okay, in this case, you know, I dealt with some pathological people who wanted to deny me my right to even goddamn breathe. Okay, to treat me like I'm so fucking out there and the other that the dehumanization is just completely unspeakable. Okay, and the lawsuits and the money that is really actually owed to me is just like ridiculous. Okay, and here I am sitting here, you know, suffering for shit that, you know, of course, I understand. It's very difficult when you're a genius. It's very difficult when you're the person who was nerdy in school and cared about all the icky, picky, nicky rules that everybody else kind of, you know, rolled their eyes at. You know what I mean? But it's very difficult being me. Extremely difficult being me. Okay? I mean, just unreal. Okay? So anyway, I think that's about it. All I want to say for now. I might come back with another video a little bit later. But no, I mean, I'm saying if you choose to live your life and you want to enjoy life and make the best of your life, you know, there's certain things that I'm never going to attain. Like, you know, I sit here, I look at Halle Berry and I think she's fucking gorgeous. You know what I mean? I'm never going to be like Halle Berry. Okay? But you know what? I can be the best version of myself that I possibly can be. And that's all you have to do. Okay? And until you do, you're going to sit here and you're going to continually bully other people and then, you know, let yourself be consumed by what I consider demonic forces. You know what I mean? The whole issue is that you need to pour more energy into yourself. So I'm going to wrap up this video and I will be back with another video sometime later. Hey, have a happy Friday.